back to the shop. I had to go grab this dash with the bag. I ended up finding this online, but I didn't realize it was broken until after I picked it up. It's missing a piece that goes over here for the center console, but I'm pretty sure I can still make it work. I'd probably, if anything, I have to cut a piece off the other one and use some plastic weld to make this new one work. This dash at the dealer is like $4,000, so it ain't cheap because it's a full leather dash. The last thing we did on this was we changed the complete front suspension. As you can see, the suspension is sitting straight now. The wheel's turned. The wheel isn't crooked, but I still got to do alignment on it, of course. We got the stands on here because, let me see if I get some light on here. The front two cradle bolts aren't lining up because we got to still pull the frame. So once the frame is pulled and cut, then we can put this last bolt in. So we kept the engine thing on there just so it's supporting it without the two bolts on the front. Same thing on the other side. I'm recording on my iPhone now. Let me know how the quality is because it's way easier to do it than using my GoPro. But we're gonna start stripping down the interior. I had the glass guy come out here, take the windshield off because the windshield's already busted, and it's a lot easier to work on these with the windshield off. So with this, you gotta take a whole skeleton off with the dash, change the airbag outside of the car, and then put the skeleton back as a complete assembly. And I also got the clock spring. So let's get started on this. I'll do a time lapse and we'll get this changed up. Alright, so here's the old one. We got the new one in. I didn't have my tripod, man, so I couldn't set this up so we could do a time lapse, but it was pretty it's pretty time consuming because there's a whole bunch of small parts you got to be careful with, especially these carbon fiber pieces. So everything has to come off, and then it's literally just all screws. There's 2 screws in here you got to be careful for. That go one in here and one on the other side, and if you don't take these off, the dash won't separate. But here's the old one. Obviously that's a new one. So the passenger side, usually on these cars, on these cars the passenger side connector doesn't melt, but on this one it did. So I had some pigtails. We put some new pigtails in there. The wheel airbag is here somewhere. It's right over there. but I don't want to install it yet until I replace the clock spring, and I have that as well. Clock spring was somewhere. Stuff is everywhere. There's a new clock spring. So I want to put the new clock spring in. And well, actually no, we already put the clock spring in, but I don't want to put the wheel airbag on until I set the alignment with the steering, because the rear view camera wasn't working for some reason. So when I put it in reverse, I couldn't tell if the wheel is straight or not after we did the suspension. So once I figure that out, then I'll plug in the airbag and clip on these two pigtails for the clock spring. But other than that, the airbags are out of the way. I want to get it done now, so once the body work is done, the car is ready. I still got to fix the seat belts. These over here. Obviously when the airbags deploy, these lock up. So I got to get those set. Probably sent out to safety restore. Their turnaround is pretty quick, so they can get those fixed up and brought it back to me. These don't deploy on Jeeps and Durangos. On Chargers, 300s, and Challengers, these shrink up. They have a tensioner in them, and these you have to replace, but not on the Jeeps. I didn't know that. I read on one of the comments, and then I went and checked, and it's still good. So the reason why I didn't put the supercharger cap back on, because I got to pop all this stuff off to take off the seat belts. So we're looking pretty good so far. I still got to get the windshield guy out here, put a new windshield on it. But as long, I got to cover this up because we have some leaks in the shop, and I don't want it to leak all over this new dash. Because if you see this, look what water does to this leather and moisture. So you don't want to get any moisture on this new dash. So I'm probably gonna cover it up or leave it in a dry spot. But other than that, we already got the frame rail cut. It's outside. This is leaking oil. I already ordered the new cooler. But once this is done, then I already have some of the stuff that came in from the dealer. A new radiator hose, new AC lines. This is the bumper harness. This is the lower radiator. No, this is the upper. This is the lower. Another AC line. This harness was 300 bucks. I was gonna try to save it, but it's honestly not worth it because it has a rip over here. The horns, where's the horn plug? This one over here is ripped. But this you can replace. It goes all the way from here, plugs in right there, and then it has another plug that goes on the other side. They call this a front end module harness or something, and it just got to be. I mean, I'd rather pay the 300 bucks and get it out the way than having to put the bumper on and then finding something that's not working later than trying to trace a short. So it's not worth it. I also got the adaptive cruise control module. This thing over here. And this thing alone was $1,000 for this radar. And on Trackhawk, it's special because it's a bracket. They make them differently, where this bracket is like a complete square. This one was like half a square. So you got to be careful and get it right by the part number. And I found it used, but we should be good. I already got the headlight. I found the used headlight for 400 bucks instead of 1,200 bucks, so I saved some money on that. This one's already pre-sold. I sold this one to my cousin, and he's waiting on me to finish it up. And I got these wheels on there that look really, really good. Instead of buying 2 used wheels, which are the old ones, I ended up finding these, and I just put these on to make it look way better. But that's pretty much it. And then we got the Challenger on the frame machine already. We already started pulling it. Everything is straight on this one. I'm just waiting for the rest of the stuff to come in so we can start, mocking it up and checking the gaps. But the actual frame on this wasn't touched. We already talked about that in the last video. Only part was damaged was this over here. So we're gonna strain that out. It does not need to be cut. It's not that impacted. So we're gonna strain it up, Mondo it, and then repaint it until it good as new. But the actual structure and everything else was pretty straight. I'm still waiting on the airbags for this one to come in. This one has blown bags as well. But see on the Challengers, see how they shrink up? You can't even see it. They deploy. So you gotta get new ones of these. I do have a set of 300 seats, which are the same ones, so I'm gonna take them off of that. And the same thing on these, I'll take them off and have them redone. I really like the seats on these. The suede or Alcantara, whatever it is. This one only doesn't have a sunroof though. So I'll probably do the Starlights when it's finished. The roof bag on that other side is deployed as well. I'm gonna try to figure out how to rewire that dash cam with the police radar. I'm gonna sell it with the car. It's probably gonna take me more time to remove the whole thing than to just reinstall it. But that's where we're at so far, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Once we get the parts in for the Challenger, I'll start doing like a time lapse on me putting this one back together. This one's not sold yet. It is gonna be for sale once it's ready, so stay tuned and make sure you keep an eye out if you're looking for one of these. This one is a 21, has 8,000 miles, and then obviously you see the damage on it. Wasn't bad at all. Even has a brand new set of what are these? Nitto 555Rs. So it's gonna be race ready if you're gonna buy it. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay tuned. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you back on the next one.